Muhammad Speaks presents Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings by Minister Khalil Shabazz every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, 12609 East McNichols Road in Detroit.
Brothers and sisters, rise in prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praises due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful. So, Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live, the alone do we serve and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray if they heard thy teachings. Say he Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none deserve to be served, worship, or praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farah Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is our true servant and last apostle. Ameen. I'd like to acknowledge the brothers and sisters that extended us the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. We have Brother Mustafa and Sister Sharice Ali from Ohio. We have Brother Ibrahim Muhammad from Tampa. And we have the Rafiq family. I'd like to say in the name of Allah who came in the person of Master Farah Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd like to greet the brothers and sisters with the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Today we'd like to continue with our topic of the July 10th, 1970, what is Islam and what is a Muslim? And the messenger says, he says, nowhere in the Bible is the white man referred to by a good name. He says the book begins with the white man symbolized as a snake in Genesis, and it ends with him as a snake in Revelations. He says, why style the white man as a snake? He has the characteristics of a snake. By nature, the snake will let you know that he does not like you. When the snake looks at you, he begins to stick his tongue out. This is a warning that he does not like you. Now, the messenger never said nothing good about white people. The only time the messenger would say something good about white people, and this is after he done said a whole lot of bad about them. He would say, I got to tell you the truth. A few of them gonna see the hereafter. That was about it. Everything else he said about white people was telling us how they was a devil. Telling us how they was a snake, how they was a beast. Like breaking down all of these bad names in the Bible that tells us about the white man. So he says that the nature of the white man is as a snake, because the snake lets you know he don't like you. Now we had yesterday, this is a picture of this devil who went into this Walmart and shot all these people. Now, they got pictures, like they got the surveillance camera of this devil going in. This devil got on safety glasses and he got on earmuffs. So that's what you do when you go to the range. Because shooting an AK-47 inside of a building is loud. An AK-47 ain't like a handgun. AK-47 is an assault rifle. So shooting that in a building, it might hurt your ears. So by this devil walking in there with earmuffs and safety glasses, he didn't go in there playing no games.
That's right.
He went in there to kill.
That's right.
Now this is what they saw when they called the police. They called them devils. It was the Walmart called the devils. And they said other businesses around that heard the shooting called the devil. So this is a picture of the devils arresting this devil. Now, you got an incident where this brother was in his car asleep.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, because what they said is the reason why they was able to arrest him with no incident is because when they approached him, he resisted. when they approach this devil. Now, when they see the black man, they already got preconceived notions about what the black man gonna do. This when we unarmed. We ain't got no gun. We ain't doing nothing. Because this brother right here, this brother's name was John Crawford. He also was in the Walmart. But this brother didn't walk into the Walmart with a rifle. He just walked in like a regular customer. And he got a toy gun off the rack. And they got surveillance of this brother too. The brother was on the phone with his children's mother. You see him pick up the gun from the rack. And he just walking through the aisles. You see the people ain't startled. Ain't nobody acting like they think that's no gun. Everybody knew it was a toy. Because the surveillance showing this brother walking through the aisles with the toy gun on the phone. Then the brother get to a point where you can tell it was no customers in this aisle. So now he can really talk to his girlfriend or whatever about whatever they was talking about. So he talking to her, you know, swinging the gun. You can see him just standing there talking on the phone. So when they called these devils, look at how he walking into the store for the brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For a toy gun.
Yeah.
They didn't call the police say he's shooting people. They didn't call the police say he was doing anything. They just said something like, because the person who made the phone call admitted that he lied. Because he told the police that he was pointing the gun at people. So after they killed his brother, the devil admitted that he lied. So in the video, they show this brother standing there on the phone, talking to his girl, swinging the gun. Then you see, he see him. So then he like jump back and run. And they just shoot because it say within a second of them seeing this brother, they start shooting. A second of them seeing this brother with a toy gun now. Now this devil right here, he walk in there.
Right.
With an AK-47, shooting and killing people. When the devils come, they approach this devil. You know, because approach don't mean you coming in there like that. Approach mean, you know, you walk up to him when you approach somebody. So they approach a devil with an AK-47, but the brother with the toy gun, he at the door. The white man at the door ready. Snake.
That's right.
White man is a snake. Then, this right here, we all know Eric Gardner. Now, the thing about Eric Gardner that's crazy, now, we can watch MMA and boxing, where people can stand by and look and see where a person that had enough.
Right. That's right.
You can tell.
That's right.
A referee can see it. You can see a person tap out like, okay,
Right. That's right.
I had enough.
Right.
This brother Eric Gardner, this devil got this brother in a chokehold. Now, in martial arts, you can put people in holes, in different submission holes. You can tell when you got a person in the hole and it ain't nothing they can do.
That's right.
You know when you got a brother in the hole and it ain't nothing he can do, and he like, okay, I'll just submit. Eric Gardner got his arm out because they got his arm behind his back. And he got his arm out like, okay, you got him. Because when you look at the video of Eric Gardner, he didn't swing on the police. What they call resisting is him backing up, like what's going on with his hands up. He didn't aggressively go towards the police. It was 3 of these devils. It was like 4 or 5 of these devils on him already. They got the brother hand behind his back and he's still choking him like he trying to kill him. Because just like the referee can tell, you can tell what's going on while watching.
That's right.
This devil trying to kill. Look at how he got his hands locked like this on his brother's neck. Now, if you know you got him down, you can ease off. You on top of him. You can ease off this brother, but he tightening up as the brother got his arm out like, okay, you got it. Then after that, when you look at the pictures, when they cuffed this brother, they ain't just say, okay, we got him, he in handcuffs, you know, we got him. Now this devil got his hand on top of this brother's head while he on his stomach with his hands behind his back. He got his hand on his head with his knee in front of his face. trying to stop him from breathing. This the devil.
That's right.
A snake
Snake, that's right.
showing the black man. Because the messenger said that's what a snake do.
That's right.
The characteristics of a snake. To show you that he hates you.
That's right.
Characteristics of the snake. He ain't trying to hide it. Snake trying to show you.
That's
I
right.
don't like it.
That's right.
That's why the snake got a forked tongue.
That's right.
When the snake see you, he starts sticking out his tongue like, yo, I don't like you. White man showing us. All praise due to Allah. Then, to add insult to injury, they just had the hearing to fire this devil who killed Eric Gardner. The police was outraged, this police commissioner person. They saying that he was reckless. They didn't charge him and say he killed the brother.
Right.
They just saying he went a little bit too far. That's already weak.
That's right.
That's weak. He should have been charged with murder
That's right. That's right.
of this brother.
That's right.
Because he didn't have no weapons. What you arresting me for? Because the laws and rules say you gotta have something on somebody to arrest. You can't just, the police just can't come up and be just frisking you and grabbing you. You supposed to be a citizen.
Right.
You supposed to have rights.
Right.
So Eric Garner, what was he doing? That warrants you to choke this brother to death. Then you find he don't have no gun. All it's about is some cigarettes. But then you got this devil going in there killing people. Then you had the Dylan Roof devil
Right.
who killed them brothers.
Right.
They take him to what, Burger King?
Yeah. Okay. That's right.
They don't even hide it. Took this devil,
Right.
Burger King.
Right. Right.
They didn't feel their life was threatened. They didn't feel nothing. Because if this person got this AK-47, do your life feel threatened when you walking in there as a white police officer? Because with the brothers, brothers unarmed, you feel threatened. Brother resist, you feel threatened. Brother got his hands up, you feel threatened. Brother sleep, you feel threatened. So when this devil walk in with the AK, ain't no white devil feel threatened at all. He killing 20 people. You know that before you get there. You don't feel a little nervous like, we about to have another mass shooter. That don't make you feel some kind of way. So you walk up to this devil and he say, all right, man,
Yeah.
I done had enough. I done killed enough people. It's a snake.
That's right. That's right.
All praise due to Allah. That's why the messenger ain't never say nothing good about the white man. Never. Never say nothing good about the white man, because we go on even further. This brother laying down on the ground with his hands up before the police got there, because he knew what it was. So this brother laying on the ground with his hands up. And this right here is an autistic person who he was caring for. So it say the black man, group home therapist Charles Kinsey, who pleaded with officers not to use guns while urging the autistic man he was caring for to lie on the ground, wound up with a bullet hole in his leg. It was a shot the police union chief later said was actually aimed at Arnaldo Rios, a profoundly autistic man whose perceived weapon proved to be a silver toy truck. So, in this instance, the devil thought it was a gun. Now let's just say, okay, this devil thought it was a gun and he shot this brother. You knew this devil had a gun.
Right. That's right. That's right.
You knew he was killing people.
Right.
You knew that,
Right.
but you approach him.
Yeah.
It's a snake.
That's right. Right.
That's why ain't no excuse no more for black people to be acting like you don't know the white man's devil.
That's right. That's right.
Ain't no excuse.
That's right. That's right.
Ain't no excuse.
That's
We love the devil.
That's right.
That's what it is. Because the messenger says, he said, why style the white man as a snake? Because previously he's told us nowhere in the Bible is the white man referred to by a good name. Nowhere. When you read about a whore, talking about the white woman. When you read about a snake, when you read about the great whore, don't just say she a whore. Because whore is a bad name as it is. But then to put another adjective on whore to say the great whore.
Right.
It's the white man and the white woman. And you can see with this homosexual stuff they doing. They say that they done passed a bill to give gay people reparations. They done already passed. The Nancy Pelosi, she be happy when them gay people get their little rights. She always there, they say, when the gay people get their little, their little civil rights. She always there. Happy to see that. Black man can't get nothing.
Right.
They still discussing, quote unquote, about the black man's reparations.
Right.
We've been here 400 years. We've been on different kinds of slavery. 400 years of what they call it chattel slavery. Then you got the mental slavery. You had when brothers were sharecropping. You know all about that. The prison system, can't get no job, no education. But these homosexuals, they just started talking about homosexuals. They already giving them civil. A snake. That's what the white man is.
That's right.
He got a forked tongue.
That's right.
He speaks some truth, then he speak lies.
Right.
That's what a snake do. The messenger says, why style the white man as a snake? He has the characteristics of a snake by nature. So when we talk about by nature, ain't no changing the nature of a thing. Because if the white man is a snake by nature, he can marry you. And you just married to a snake.
That's right.
You're a snake by nature.
That's right.
Because the messenger talked about the white man when he said he not a man that was good and turned to evil.
Right.
Because you can work with somebody like that, like the black man. We are good-hearted, good-natured people
That's right.
who turn to evil.
That's right.
Because we was taught by the devil.
That's right.
So you can work with a black man. You can work with a black woman. But the white man is different. His nature is evil.
That's right.
He didn't turn to evil because he was good and just turned to it. Evil by nature.
That's right.
So when the messenger deal with, when he talks what is Islam and what is a Muslim, he dealing with the nature of the people.
Right.
He not dealing with good and bad.
Right.
You like him because he treats you right and you speak to this devil. He talking about the nature of the two people.
Right.
All praise due to Allah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's something even Muslims don't forget about. Because we love the devil too. And this new school stuff.
Yes.
We love the devil. Because this devil right here that Muslims love. This devil named Father Flake.
All right.
A snake. Because
That's right.
we can look at this devil right here who got the AK-47 and walk in and kill. Okay, you say he a snake. Okay, we see that. You know, he killing people.
Right. Right.
But this a different kind of snake.
Uh-huh.
Still a snake.
Right. Right.
Still a snake. Because the messenger said, he says when the snake looks at you, he begins to stick his tongue out. This is a warning that he does not like you. And the snake has a forked tongue and not a straight tongue. This warns you that he is something that is compared with a human being that also has a forked tongue, who tells lies on one side and the truth on the other side. But he keeps the lie going stronger than the truth. So the forked-tongued person is something which by nature it is not good to take him for a friend.
Right. Right.
Because this devil, Father Flagger, who these Muslims love, he like an honorary devil. That's who he is. When you see Father Flagger, he ain't like a regular devil.
Yes, sir.
He ain't no ordinary devil to
Right.
Muslims.
Yeah.
He the honorary devil.
Yeah.
Because this devil got a black church. This Father Flake. You can see him in his church standing next to the black Jesus.
Uh-huh.
See, the deaf, dumb, and blind black man love that.
Right.
Because when you see a white man who got the black Jesus,
Yeah.
you think he a good white man, nah?
Yeah.
Jesus black.
Right.
But the messenger say he got that forked tongue.
That's right.
Because when you look at this Jesus, the same way we looked at that white Jesus a couple weeks ago with the halo,
Uh-huh.
he was glowing. Same lie he telling you about the white Jesus, he telling you about the black Jesus.
That's right.
Same thing. He just made this Jesus black. That's like if I want to give you some hog. I ain't going to give you the hog in a pork chop or something. I give it to you in a beef hot dog. But I mix the beef with the pork.
Right.
I'm going to say this is a beef hot dog, man.
Right.
This ain't no pork chop.
Right.
This ain't no chitlins. It ain't a sausage. It's a beef hot dog. But it's pork mixed into the beef hot dog. Or I get a beef hot dog, but I cook it with some pork. Give it to you. I ain't giving you pork, but it still got pork in it if it touched the pork, and I know that.
Right.
But I know you the fool, because I remember one time when I was in the military, when I first started going around Muslims, and the first thing I started to try to stop doing was eating pork. So I told this brother, said, look, man, we was having a barbecue, and they had hot dogs. And I was like, man, do these hot dogs have pork in them? He like, man, no, I told you, because, you know, when you around black people who eat pork, they don't like you too much talking about, like, do this have pork in it, going back and forth with them. Like, brother, I told you, man, it ain't got no pork in it. Like, quit asking me. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, because I was new to it. I wasn't a Muslim yet. I was just trying to not eat pork thing. So I'm eating the hot dogs, and something just made me look at the package. It's them beef pork hot dogs mixed in the beef. It's chicken, pork, and beef.
Yeah, right.
But to him, they was mostly beef hot dogs, because it's the beef hot dog, but you got to look at the ingredients and see what all in it. And it's chicken and beef and all, and pork. So I'm like, man, I done asked this brother, was it pork in it? And he told me no. But that's how the white man do. Truth mixed with falsehood.
That's right. That's right.
It might say on the package it's beef hot dogs. But if it's pork in it, it's the same. All praise to Allah. If the white man got a white Jesus, and he's still telling you he died on the cross, he's still telling you about the spook heaven, he's still telling you to love everybody, he still got you eating hard, he still got you Jenkins, Jones, Jackson, Smith, and Culpeper, he still got you loving him, what's the difference? It's a snake.
That's right.
Still a snake.
That's right.
But the messenger made it hard for the snake. The snake couldn't tell us the same old Negro, nigga, and colored boy stuff that they used to tell us.
Right.
So they understood that, you know, his truth is getting to black people. So instead of us giving these black people these white lies, we give them these black lies. You know, let's just have another black person co-sign what we saying.
Right.
Because at first the white man wouldn't let black people do nothing. And even when they used to let black people to go interview the messenger, the only reason why they would get black reporters because he wouldn't allow a white reporter to come. So they wasn't really trying to, you know, help black people rise up in reporting. They just like, he don't want no white interviewer, so let's get us a black. And that's how a lot of black people start rising up to fame. And that's about right with white black people today. It ain't because the white man just love us so much. The truth is known. The truth is made known.
That's right.
So now he need a Barack Obama.
Right.
Need a Barack Obama now. It ain't that I love him, but it sound better to black people who got a little bit of pride to hear it from him. Let him tell you to love us. Let him tell you when this black person is killed by this white cop that, you know, let the law handle it. Let him tell you that.
Yeah.
But it's still the same snake.
That's right. Right.
And that's what the messenger said. The messenger said in the nature of the white man, he has a forked tongue. He will talk truth with you, and he will talk evil with you. This is what is called tricknology. He lies to you in one word and tells the truth in another word, to keep you thinking that he is a friend of yours, but admitting the truth in one word and following it with 100 more words that are other than the truth. So you got this devil who be marching with people. He be marching for black people.
Right.
He be on the stage with Muslims, bearing witness. I seen one time before I became a Muslim, I saw him on stage with one of these Muslims at these Muslim functions. You should have saw how he was bearing witness. He was bearing witness like he was black. I'm like, who is this devil? Like, he bearing witness like that to something he was saying truth. Because that's what the devil can do. You can start talking all that messengers teachings. Let them sit on stage and you telling everybody that he all right. He a white man the devil, white man evil. Clapping. Brother up there bearing witness, the devil. Bearing witness just like the rest of the Muslims. And that's enough for a snake to trick a weak Muslim.
That's right.
It's enough for a snake to trick a weak Muslim, because the messenger said, if the white man would teach you what I'm teaching you, he would be hastening his doom.
That's right.
So if you see a white person bearing witness to something that some Muslim is saying, That's a snake. Because if you really teaching the teachings of the messenger, he ain't going to be bearing witness. When you saw the messenger, when he was teaching, and there was white people in the crowd, and they showed it,
Right.
they were, look
Right.
at
Right. That's right.
they wasn't
That's right.
bearing witness.
That's right.
Because he talking about how they the devil.
That's right.
Talking about how Allah hates the white race.
Right.
That's how the messenger used to talk.
Yes, sir.
So it's something different than to just say the white man's the devil. Because we say it's black devils too. That's why he can get on stage and clap. Because after you start talking all this, the white man stuff, then you start talking about black people too. So that's that forked tongue stuff. Truth mixed with falsehood.
Right. Yes,
But
sir.
then we have the messenger. This is a February 24th, 1967 Muhammad speaks. And it's called Call to Brotherhood of the Black Nation, Join Now. And we'll see the big difference between the messenger and this new school Islam stuff. Because when you look at the pictures and the cartoons that the messenger used to have on the Muhammad speaks, you see this is black brothers dressed in their FOI uniforms. Just black brothers. Then you see some black Muslims from the East dressed in their turbans and their style of clothes. Both groups of brothers is reaching their arm out. Then you see the FOI shaking the hand of the black Muslim. That's what the messenger used to talk about when he used to say brotherhood and join on to your own kind.
Yes, sir.
He wasn't talking about how like we talk about like joining on with the Christians. And joining on with, you know, what you call them? The Moors. Because we like to take these pictures with all these interfaith people. They still practicing filth and indecency. The Christians still eating hard.
Right.
You sitting up here talking about you got unity with the Christian. The Orthodox Muslim black brothers still practicing polygamy. Still doing all kind of foolishness, ain't recognizing the messenger as the last and greatest messenger of Allah.
Right.
But you got unity with him. You got unity with a rapper who's still cussing on his records. Still acting savage. But you got him on stage because you got unity. No. That wasn't the messenger. When the messenger had the cartoon on the inside of the paper, you see, once again, he got Muslims written on the leg of these brothers, letting you know these Muslims.
Right. Yes, sir.
Then you see the same brothers from Africa and Asia that's dressed up like Muslims with their arms out. Then you see one brother who go in the opposite direction, and he say, I don't like my own, I love white folks. So, the messenger making it clear, all these is Muslims. He ain't never, when you look at the messenger's articles and read what he say, he never make you think he talking about something outside of Islam. Never. He never make you think that. He never make you think it's a good Christian. Even a black one. Never make you think that. No preacher. No good preacher. No. It's the ice house.
That's right.
He the ice maker.
That's right.
With him sitting there. With him sitting there. He ain't never make you think it's some good preachers and they doing all good. Yeah. He showing signs. That's about as far as it went.
Right.
But if you in the church, you going to hell. Simple as that.
Right.
He never tried to make them feel like what he was saying was outside of Islam, outside of a Muslim. Everything the messenger said was within that scope. So the article that the messenger had in the paper, because he had two articles. Top of it said, in this world of crisis and destruction of nations, the only escape you have is in Allah and following his message.
Yes, sir.
The only escape.
That's right.
This is how the messenger taught for 44 years. The only escape that black people have is through me. Allah and the messenger. What is Islam? What is a Muslim? It wasn't because you accept the teachers and you like the black Jesus. And you kind of Afrocentric and you like black stuff. No.
Yeah.
The only escape you have is in Allah and following his message.
That's right.
Then he says, as I warn you, the judgment of this world has arrived. Get out of the church and get into a mosque and join on to your own kind, the nation of Islam. The house you are in shall surely fall and never rise again.
Yes, sir.
That's the message.
That's right.
All praise due to Allah.
Yes, sir.
It was plenty of pastors who used to let the messenger come in their church and teach.
That's right. That's right.
I forget the name of this lecture. The messenger was in the church, and he liked the church. He said it was a nice church, and he said that he liked coming and speaking in this church. He was like, the only thing I'll change is I'll take that cross off the top
Yes, sir.
and put a crescent.
Yes, sir.
And he started explaining how the song where they say, I'm going to trade in that old rusty cross for a crown. And he in the church.
Right. Yes, sir.
In the church. The man letting him teach in the church, and he telling them the only thing I change, all praise to Allah.
Right. Yes,
That was the message.
Right.
Only thing I change, I take that cross off the top. Everything else in here cool. I would take that and put a cross or a crescent. It's the message. He didn't never try to make you think anything outside of what is Islam and what is a Muslim. Never. So he goes on to say, he says, we are the lost members of the original black nation and have been found and chosen by Allah to make a great nation, a nation under his guidance to exhort the nations of the past. This is separates us from the new school stuff. Because the messenger says that we are the lost members of the original black nation and have been found and chosen by Allah to make a great nation under his guidance.
Yes, sir.
But see, in the new school nation of Islam, we'll say, Master Farad Muhammad ain't coming back, brother. Like, why are you talking that kind of talk? Because we don't talk like Master Farad Muhammad's still in control. I had plenty of brothers tell me, well, brother, you know Master Farad Muhammad ain't coming back. Like, you sound like you believe in a mystery God. That's what they say. Let's talk about some history. Because the messenger taught us history of the nation of Islam. He taught us history, and he taught us Yaakob's history.
Right.
That's why the messenger say, study the lessons, not just to memorize.
Right.
Study them to understand.
Right.
He didn't have nothing in there for brothers to just be with this wise guy stuck.
Right.
Study to get an understanding.
Right.
He says, and this comes from Message of the Black Man on page 116. The messenger says, of course, Mr. Yaakov lived but 150 years. That's how long Yaakov lived. 150 years. But we know when we read the making of the devil, it took 600 years to graft the devil.
Right.
So if it took 600 years to graft the devil, and the messenger said before they had a change, it took 200 years. So Yaakov never saw a devil, and the white man never saw Yaakov. Never. But we still, in the lessons, we still call this Yaakov's grafted devil.
That's right. Yes,
That's
sir.
what we call the white man, right? Yaakov's grafted devil.
Right.
In the lessons,
That's right.
say Yaakov's civilization. Yaakov ain't never saw a devil. Why we still calling them Yaakov's grafted devil? We believe in a mystery God. Why is this Yaakov's civilization? Why did the messenger say it's two gods on the scene today?
That's right.
The good God and the evil God.
That's right.
Who is the God of the white man? Yaakov is the God of the white man, right? All praise to Allah.
That's right.
See, we like to talk the talk. We don't want to walk the walk. Sometimes the messenger say we'll say something with our mouth that we don't believe with our heart.
Right.
We'll talk that Master Farad Muhammad talk. See, he brought these teachers. So to some degree, you got to recognize him. To some degree.
That's right.
But really depending on him for real. Really looking to him for help and aid for real.
That's right.
That's a whole different thing than all this talking. Because the messenger always let it be known to us that he gonna be in control.
That's right.
Because the messenger said the presence of Allah means his teachings. That's what the presence of Allah. All praise due to Allah. The presence of Allah don't mean he here physically with us now. The presence of Allah means his teachings. Just like with Yaakov. So the messenger said, of course, Mr. Yaakov lived but 150 years. But his idea continued in practice. He gave his people guidance in the form of literature. Literature.
Right. That's right.
All praise due to Allah.
Right.
He gave his people his teaching in the form of literature. Then he says what they should do and how to do it, how to rule the black nation. He said to them, when you become unlike or white, you may return to the Holy Land and people from whom you were exiled. Now, when Yaakov was talking to these people, they were still black.
That's right. Yes, sir.
He wasn't talking to no white people when he said this.
That's right. Yes, sir.
But he said, when you become unlike, he said, you may return to the Holy Land and people from whom you were exiled. So Yaakov is more than him just being physically there with them. It was his wisdom that he left through the literature
That's right.
that they still had to follow and practice.
That's right.
Even though many of them never saw Yaakov. So the messenger goes on to say, he says, Mr. Yaakov taught his maid devils on Pilan that when you go back to the holy black nation, rent a room in their homes. Teach your wives to go out the next morning around the neighborhoods of the people and tell that you heard her talking about them last night. He says, when you have gotten them fighting and killing each other, he says, then ask them to let you help settle their dispute and restore peace among them. If they agree, then you will be able to rule them both. This method the white race practices on the black nation, the world over. They set up their peace, or they upset their peace by putting one against the other and then rule them after dividing them.
Yes, sir. That's right.
So this white man today ain't never saw Yaakov. But he's still practicing what Yaakov told him 6,000 years ago.
That's right. Yes, sir.
So do they believe in a mystery God? What does mystery God mean? The messenger said that a mystery God means something that don't exist. Something that's beyond human comprehension.
Yes, sir.
Master Farah Muhammad exists just like Yaakov. Even after Yaakov exists, his wisdom was to last for 6,000 years.
That's right.
He ain't no mystery God.
That's right.
Just because they never saw him. That don't mean he no mystery God because you don't see him.
Right.
All praise be to Allah. The messenger said that the wisdom of a God can last for 25,000 years.
That's right.
He a mystery? The God that don't exist no more, that made the sun and all that, he ain't no mystery. He existed.
That's right.
But we don't pray to him because he don't exist no more. But he ain't no mystery.
Right.
You see what he done done.
That's right.
When you talk about Jesus being God, what Jesus done for you? The spook goddess in heaven, what he done for you? You gonna wait on him for some bread? No, that's a mystery. Something you don't know nothing about. Something nobody never saw.
Right.
The messenger saw Master Farad Muhammad, and he gave us his literature.
That's right.
So, we still supposed to be talking about Master Farad Muhammad like the messenger talked about.
That's
When we tell these lost fowls, say Allah. He says, we are the lost members of the original black nation and have been found and chosen by Allah to make a great nation, a nation under his guidance. Master Farad Muhammad, brother, under his guidance.
That's right.
All praise be to Allah. We ain't never seen him.
Right.
Probably never see him. But we seen his literature.
Right.
We seen his messenger.
That's
You can
right.
still see his message. You can still see the work of his messenger. He ain't no mystery God.
Right.
A mystery God means something that don't exist, something fake. And all this Christianity God stuff is fake. With these angels and halos. And this devil got these brothers looking at the Jesus. Where the picture at? Well, the devil, Father Flagger, got these brothers still looking at Jesus as glowing.
Right.
That's a mystery God.
Right.
Who ever seen Jesus like that in real life? Who ever seen Jesus come back? I remember one time the messenger, he was talking about, and this is when I was still a Christian, because the messenger used to just drop little seeds. Sometimes the little seed would be enough. Because sometimes I would listen to the messenger and wouldn't listen to his whole lecture. It'll be playing. But I'm still thinking about that, what he just said, like, dang. He just dropped a seed on me that I can't even hear what he's saying. Now I'm still trying to unravel, like, wow. He was talking about Jesus rising into heaven. So he said that if clouds only go, because they said they saw Jesus on a cloud.
Right.
They said if a cloud only go, I think he said 6 miles high. Said, what did Jesus ride the rest of the way? That got me, brother. I was like, I ain't had no answer. That one had me stumped.
Yeah.
Now, he was still talking when I'm listening to him, but I was stuck like, wow. He only goes 6 miles high. I never thought about that. That's how Master Farad Muhammad gonna rule us. Through his wisdom.
Right.
Through his literature. Because the white man still got you believing in a mystery God. This is a mystery God. It's not real. Jesus going up into heaven, we listening to your prayers is not real.
Right.
That's what a mystery God is. So the messenger goes even further. He says, Islam means unity. Without unity, we have no power, regardless of how great in numbers we are. The messenger says, the teaching of God's only true religion, Islam, are for the purpose of qualifying us to return to the nation of Islam to which we belong by nature. So all this, the messenger said, all this teaching for us to return to the nation of Islam. He ain't say it's for to make us wise, for us to start figuring out stuff for ourselves. It's to qualify us to return to the nation of Islam that we belong by nature. Like we was talking about the devil. He is snake by nature.
That's right.
We members of the nation of Islam by nature. So the messenger says Islam is not a religion that has dominated the white race, the devils, because they were not created by nature to be righteous people. He says Islam is a religion for the righteous, not for devils, who were not created by nature to accept righteousness. And you got this devil, who Muslims love. The messenger clearly saying they not made to accept righteousness. But this devil in his church can have black people in his church. Muslims will go speak at his church and tell black people they in the right spot. Hey, you doing the right thing following old flagrant. But the messenger clearly said, he said, get out of a church and come to a mosque.
Right.
What he said, clearly said. He said the only escape you got is following Allah through his message.
Right.
Now he's telling you the teaching of God's only true religion, Islam, are for the purpose of qualifying us to return to the nation of Islam to which we belong by nature. He says Islam is a religion for the righteous, not for devils, who are not created by nature to accept righteousness. They know righteousness, but then cannot be righteous. Jesus made this clear when he was trying to reform the white race devils 2,000 years ago. Then he referenced the Bible, John 8 and 37 through 47. And the messenger always used this quote in John where Jesus called them devils. He always used that quote. So, just like we talked about last week, how the messengers say a thing over and over and over again. This was in the February 24th, 1967, Muhammad Speaks. And this was the title. It says, call to brotherhood for the black nation, join now. Then you go to Our Savior Has Arrived. And it's chapter 25, and it says, Islam will unite black. The messenger says, Allah God has come to unite us. We the black people in America must unite. But unity only comes on acceptance of Islam. It only comes, if you ain't a Muslim, ain't no unity.
Right. That's right.
All praise due to Allah.
Right.
Straight up.
Right.
Because if you go back and just read what the messenger said word for word, and just try to understand where he's coming from. Not to try to understand, to argue with people.
Right.
But try to prove your point.
Right.
Just go read what he said and just read it word for word, line for line. Try to see what he said.
Right.
Because he say the same thing even when he talking about something different. When he talking about doing for self, he's still talking about Islam. When you listen to what he's saying. Because in this, he's saying, we the black people must unite. And that's the part we just like to say. You know, we need unity. But then he say unity only comes on acceptance of Islam.
Right.
What is Islam? What is a Muslim? A Muslim is one who submit his or her will to do the will of Allah.
That's right.
Islam is entire submission to the will of Allah.
That's right.
So if you ain't in the nation of Islam, ain't no unity.
Praise be to Allah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah. Right.
He says, without black unity, we have no power, regardless of how great in numbers we may be. He says, divine wisdom of God is what puts us on the path to ascend the heights that he has vouched for as being safe for us. That was kind of heavy. He said, divine wisdom of God is what puts us on the path to ascend the heights that he has vouched for us. That he has vouched for us. Now, just because the black man is God don't mean you can choose your own path. Because the messenger always kept us in line with knowing that Master Farad Muhammad is in control of this thing.
That's right.
He didn't never make you think, because you were so wise, because you know this and that, because you feel like the sisters God and you, or you God and the sisters ain't, now you can start doing something outside of what Master Farad Muhammad vouched for us. That's how the messenger used to teach Islam. The basis of what he taught was what is Islam, what is a Muslim. He says, Allah God has given to us Islam that we may be successful in the knowledge of self and doing for self with his guidance. Once again, even for us to be successful in the knowledge of self, you got to be a Muslim. Even to be successful in doing for self, you got to be a Muslim.
Yes, sir.
That's what he's saying. He's saying with his guidance. He says, for the first time, Islam, the true religion of Allah God, is being offered to us, the black people in America, by Allah God himself, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. Now, if you just look in these 3 paragraphs, how many times he tell us about Master Farad Muhammad and his guidance over us? He continuously say it. But in this new school stuff, we don't like to say it like that too much. It's mostly about what we gonna do. We pick out quotes from the messenger that make people think we the ones who in control now. And you can tell by when the brother become a minister or a captain, how the messenger say, we know you the captain.
That's right.
You ain't got to start with your chest poked out. That's how we are with the messenger's teachings. Just like how the messenger said captains and ministers used to be then, like we know you the captain. Stay in your place. You ain't got to have a meeting with brothers and not call this brother. Why you ain't calling all the brothers? That's how the messenger kept it. That's how he kept Islam. Stay in the framework of what Master Farad Muhammad vouched for us. Don't go outside that. Don't try to act like you so wild. Now you want to set up your kind of temple.
Yeah.
We just can't have Muhammad's temple.
Right.
We got to have your kind of temple. And if we don't have your kind of temple, something wrong with us. The messenger says, divine wisdom of God is what puts us on the path to ascend to heights that he has vouched as being safe for us.
Yes, sir.
He has vouched. Not what you done vouched. But you got a lot of brothers be trying to make up stuff in this new school stuff. Then try to present it to you like if you don't accept what they done came up with or what they vouching for, something wrong with you. No. It's new school stuff. This is what Master Farad Muhammad vouched for us. The messenger already gave us the rules and regulations, the restrictive law. He showed us how to set up a temple. He shows us what branches out from the temple.
Right.
That's what Master Farad Muhammad vouched for what was safe for us. He ain't vouched for all this other stuff. And the message says, for the first time, Islam, the true religion of God, is being offered to us, the black people in America, by Allah, God himself, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever. He says, we came from righteousness by nature, but we were deceived by the enemy of righteousness, the devil. He says, as mortar cements and ties brick and stone together into one wall or building, so has Islam come with the love of black brother for black brother in order to unite us so that we will become one in power and of good and unity. So if you see a pile of bricks laying around, if you take them pile of bricks and you stack them all up, they still won't be a solid wall. They need some cement to connect them together and hold them together to make a wall.
That's right.
You can take a pile of rocks, stack them up. They won't be a solid wall. You need cement to hold it together to make it a solid wall. The messenger says that as mortar cements and ties brick and stone together into one wall or building, so has Islam come.
That's right. Yes, sir.
All praise to Allah.
Yes, sir.
Islam come.
Right.
Not just your little idea, not because you're wise, but Islam has come.
Right.
Entire submission to the will of Allah.
That's right.
That's what Islam is. It ain't nothing. It's simple. Islam is entire submission to the will of Allah, and a Muslim is one who submits his will to do the will of Allah. So if you ain't trying to build no temple, the way the messenger built the temple, you don't want unity.
That's right.
Islam came
That's
to unite us.
That's right.
Master Farad Muhammad vouched for us what was safe for us, for the nation.
Right.
So he didn't wait on you to come figure out what you want to do.
Right.
Islam cements us together.
Right.
All this new school stuff, the way we want to do stuff, we want to unite with devils. We want to say this devil is a good devil, and we don't want to call the white man the devil in public. The messenger said that the Bible don't have a good name for the white man, but we want to say the Honorable Aaron Hubbard.
Right.
This is the messenger. What is Islam and what is a Muslim? Because the messenger laid it all out for us. Then we go on in the article. The messenger says we have to teach the black woman herself. He says we are responsible for her knowledge, for her knowing herself. Will you help me to make known the self of the black man and woman? Because the messenger started talking about ourself when he started talking about our nature. He started talking about ourself. And what does self mean? Because the one thing about the messenger is when you start looking up the words of what he's saying and look and see what they really mean. It's amazing, like, dang, that's what he's saying? So self means a person's essential being that distinguishes them from others. When you start talking about the self. Now the messenger said, we have to teach the black woman herself. We are responsible for her knowing herself. Will you help me make known the self of the black man and woman? Then the messenger says, what is a Muslim? As I have foresaid, Allah God in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, has taught me that all black men, black women, and black children are Muslim by nature.
Yes, sir.
That's the self. Yourself is what distinguishes you from others. So if the sisters were something different from us, they self would be different. Because the self is what distinguishes you from others. We talked about the devil. And his nature was wicked and evil. You can't reform the devil.
That's right.
His nature. He's a snake by nature.
Right.
Forked tongue by nature. You can't change that. But the black man and the black woman and the black child is a Muslim by nature.
Right.
All praise be to Allah. And the self is what distinguishes you from other people. So the only person that the messenger taught us that we was different from was the devil. He didn't teach black men and black women we different from each other.
Right. That's right.
We're supposed to come together and be one.
That's right.
That's what the messenger taught.
That's right.
All praise be to Allah.
That's right.
He didn't teach all this new school stuff. Because what I notice about these new school brothers with this black man is God stuff, these brothers be liking that polygamy. When they talking all that black man's God stuff.
Right.
When they try to say that the sisters ain't God but the brothers is. They trying to have this polygamy thing they like. Because in this new school stuff, we don't like to talk against polygamy. Brothers don't be talking against polygamy like that. You know, you act like you don't know where you stand.
Right.
Act like you scratching your head whether you still guessing did the messenger have more than one wife or didn't he? You scratching your head. The messenger didn't have more than one wife. Only wife he had was Sister Claire Muhammad.
Right.
That's it. That's where we stand.
That's right.
We don't care nothing about these other people talking about what the messenger had, what he did.
Right.
He didn't say.
Uh-huh.
He did. Because you got to have 4 witnesses to charge a person or something. Where your witnesses at? Show us some proof. Because a lot of these brothers talking about it was polygamy in the Nation of Islam when the man, show us the proof. Show us your proof. Show us some pictures of some brothers who was practicing polygamy in the Nation of Islam. Show us some pictures.
Yeah.
Show us when the messenger said in the courtship, he said, get the marriage license, get married, and go home.
That's right.
Now, it's illegal to practice polygamy in America. It's illegal.
Right. Yeah.
They call it what, bigamy or something like that? That's illegal. So if the messenger telling you to get a marriage license, get married and go home, you can't even marry no other sister legally.
Right.
In America, if the messenger instructing you to get a marriage license, get married and go home.
That's right.
Then he told us to follow the laws of the land.
That's right. Right.
Even if we want to go by that.
Mm-hmm.
The restrictive law says marry and take enough time.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
That's the law.
That's right.
See, we don't want to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make all kind of excuses. We want to make the sister something different.
Mm-hmm.
To make them think we just supposed to be able to tell the sister anything and we God and you just
Right.
supposed to be here for my, for me.
Right.
No, we don't practice polygamy in the Nation of Islam.
That's right.
All praise due to Allah.
That's right.
We just want to make that plain because we know it's lost files watching.
Yeah.
We know these new school brothers is watching. We don't practice polygamy here, I should say.
Right.
In this Nation of Islam to follow the message.
That's
I should
right.
say that.
That's right.
All praise due to Allah.
That's right.
A lot of brothers who got a lot of women.
Yeah.
And when you listen to these brothers, I don't see how no sister go for that.
Right. That's right.
I'm going to just keep it real.
Yeah.
I've been in the dead world.
Yes, sir.
Sound like pimping to me.
That's right. That's right.
I'm going to just keep it real.
Right.
I don't see how no sister. You a fool, sister.
That's right.
You let this brother have some other woman with you.
That's right.
You was a fool, sister.
That's right.
Straight up.
That's
These
right.
brothers come at you with this pimping. This righteous pimping,
Right.
I want to choose me another woman.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Even when you read in the Holy Quran and they talk about choosing other women, it's talking about orphans.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It ain't talking about brothers just sitting around seeing sisters like, I want her.
Right.
Give me her.
Yeah.
What orphans you dealing with?
Right.
You ain't dealing with no orphans.
Right.
It'll be different. If these brothers talking about polygamy and people see sisters who need some financial support, and say, brother, can you help her financially? You're like, yeah, I help her financially.
Right.
It'll be better understood.
Right.
We still ain't practicing that. But if you was talking about polygamy from that aspect, it'll be more righteous than you sitting up here just talking about you want to take on a little single sister who ain't never been married to be one of your wives. You
Right.
crazy.
That's right.
Because the Holy Quran talking about orphans.
Yes, sir.
Orphans is people who got mamas, ain't got no daddies. That's what an orphan is. Sitting up here talking about some polygamy. We don't practice polygamy here.
That's
And I
right.
just want to make that plain.
Right. Good. Praise
Every
God.
time
Yes, sir.
I hear something or see something with these new school brothers, because I know they watching, I'm bringing it to the forefront. We ain't going for that here.
Right.
So I want everybody to know we don't practice polygamy here.
Right.
And sisters, if you out there listening to and you let these foolish brothers convince you to let him choose some other woman with you, you a fool.
That's right.
All praise
right.
to Allah.
That's right.
We ain't saying that to say we feel sorry for these sisters who participating in that. Both of them some fools.
Right.
Because if the sister know the messenger's teachings, where in the MGT class do we tell you how you supposed to deal with being at home with two wives?
Right. Right.
Where it tell you that? Where it tell you in FOI class how we supposed to deal with 2 and 3 sisters coming home from work?
That's right. That's right.
The messenger said, Allah raised me to interpret for you.
That's right.
It's many things in the Holy Quran that it says that Muslims should do that we don't do. It's saying in the Holy Quran about beards. We don't wear beards.
That's right.
It talk about praying on your knees. We don't pray on our knees.
That's right.
It talk about fasting during Ramadan. We don't fast during Ramadan. We fast in December.
Right.
So I don't even want to hear that Holy Quran stuff.
Right.
These new school brothers be talking. But I just wanted to make that plain.
Praise be to Allah.
We don't practice polygamy here, brothers and sisters. So if you're a polygamy practicing Muslim, this ain't the place.
Right.
All praise due to Allah. Well, brothers and sisters, we don't want to prolong the time, so I'll leave you as I came in the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. All right. Yes, sir.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praises due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful. So, Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live, Thee alone do we serve, and Thee alone beseech for Thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path of those upon whom Thou hast bestowed Thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom Thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray if they heard Thy teachings. Say He, Allah is one God. Allah is He of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is He begotten, there is none like Him. And I bear witness that none is to be served, worship, praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is our true servant and last apostle. Ameen. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone that we wouldn't have done it to ourselves and treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.